What's up guys, it's Izzy here and welcome back to a new video. Oh, the pin disappeared. In today's video, I do say this a lot on my channel, but this video is very different compared to any video I've ever put out. It's not really a lifestyle beauty and it's not a baking video because I'm sitting down. It's a sit down video where I'm just going to be talking to you guys about the murder of Jennifer Mills-Westley. I have got notes here, like 2.5 pages of notes, and some things I will be taking off the screen here just because they're too big to write down. So if you're used to my lifestyle beauty videos and that's what you watch me for, there will be a new one out next week, but for this week it is going to be speaking about murder and violence. If that's something that you do not like and will not want to watch, I don't mind you not watching this video, so click off and come back next week. But this is the story, the information I can get a hold of the murder of Jennifer Mills-Westley. Okay. Jennifer was a 60-year-old grandmother of 5. She had 2 daughters and she was originally from Norwich in England, where she worked until she retired. As I say, she moved from Norwich in 2006 and moved out to the Spanish island Tenerife, which is a very known holiday island now that everybody goes to. Jennifer owned 2 apartment buildings, like 2 apartments in the Port Royal complex in Los Cristianos. She lived in one and then she rented the other one out to tourists that would come out to Tenerife. But on Friday the 13th of May 2011, Jennifer was brutally murdered. Like any other person, she went out to a supermarket, like a grocery store, to go and get, well, food. She went there in the early morning because they said the attack roughly took place about 20 past 10. So she went in and I think she was buying what she needed, and then a man walked in who to the public eye appeared to be homeless, which you'd later find out that he wasn't. She walked in and he must have gone behind her, and eyewitnesses said that he wasn't looking for Jennifer. He was just looking around everybody in the supermarket and just randomly chose which person's life he wanted to take. Unfortunately, that was Jennifer's. Once he chose the victim that he wanted to murder, he stabbed them in the neck 14 times, which was Jennifer, and then went on to behead her. He picked up his weapon and the severed head and just walked outside like nothing, and showed this head to the entire street. I know. And whilst he took it out, he was repeating 2 phrases over and over and over, just so that everybody could hear. And those phrases were, "This is my treasure," and "God is on earth." When people looked at the weapon, they said it was a really large knife or a samurai sword, like a small-ish sword, either a large kitchen knife or a medium-sized sword. Once he just kind of chucked the head to the side, that he just didn't want it anymore, that's when the police finally tackled him to the ground. They found out that this man's name was Dejan. He is a Bulgarian man. They found out that Dejan suffered from paranoid schizophrenia, and he lived in a semi-detached beach house on the seafront in Tenerife. The location wasn't really said, but it was in Tenerife. Dayanov had a huge record of violence. Like, he just became violent to strangers. One day he just flipped and he started to attack a security guard that was patrolling the seafront, and then a couple weeks later he started to harass women in a nightclub in Playa de las Americas. 3 months before the attack on Jennifer, Dayanov was released from a psychiatric unit in Hospital de la Candelaria. Years before the attack, Dayanov travelled between Edinburgh and Bradford in the UK. People said that he was always there, or in Cyprus and Tenerife. Plus, he would go to Flint in North Wales, where he had relatives. He refused and just wouldn't go back to Bulgaria because he'd been caught stealing money from his parents and other family members to help his addiction to drugs like heroin, and he had a gambling obsession. So he was just addicted to those two things. So he refused to go back to Bulgaria. Another thing I found out that in the summer of 2010, I don't know whether he had done an attack on people, but he must have been seeing his family in Flint in North Wales because he had been put into a psychiatric ward in Glenclwyd Hospital, otherwise known as Balderwyddan Hospital. So that was basically the backstory of Dayanov. Now I'm going to go on to the trial. The trial started on the 18th of February 2013 and ended on the 22nd of February 2013. It doesn't say where this trial was taking place, it just says, oh, the court in Santa Cruz. It says here, when they were in here, they showed the CCTV footage from the supermarket of him murdering and beheading Jennifer MILLS-WESTLEY. Dayanov denied murder and just said he was in a mental state. So they couldn't really send him to prison. Instead of sending him to a life imprisonment, they gave him a 20-year detention in a psychiatric unit, because that was the maximum acceptable terms. That was the maximum thing that they could give to him, because he had paranoid schizophrenia, he had mental health issues, and he just had, as it says on screen, mental issues. So people were just kind of saying that he wasn't 100% there, like he wouldn't have done that, but people don't know. The reason I haven't wrote this down, it's on the bottom of the screen, so sorry if I look away. After everybody spoke, MILLS-WESTLEY's daughters were speaking, and they just kind of said that their mother shouldn't be known as the woman who was beheaded in Tenerife, because the truth is that she was their mum and their mentor and their best friend, and she was a truly high gifted person and a selfless person. The daughter said the murder could have been prevented and it was needless, and they say that there was many things that people had failed to say about Dayanov, and that he was a mentally unstable man, which they did say, but a lot of people do claim now, even to this day, that Dayanov should at least had some time in prison, that a 20-year sentence to a detention in a psychiatric unit wasn't enough, because he went down on the 22nd of February 2013, meaning in the next 2 years he would have been there for 10 years. He would be out in February 2033. And personally, I don't think that's enough time. But anyway, that is the murder of Jennifer MILLS-WESTLEY. They don't speak too much about her background online, and they don't really give too much off of Dayanov either. But yeah, this was something I wanted to share because I was in Tenerife that year in the January of 2011, and then this happened in the May, and we went back then for New Year. That's what we always did. So we were there from the New Year of 2010 to 2011 and the New Year from 2011 to 2012. So yeah, if this is videos that you guys would like to watch more of, just give this video a thumbs up, and so I know to make more of these videos. If you guys have any like requests of people that you would like me to speak about, get more into it and things like that, and speak about it on my channel, you can either comment them down below, DM me them on my Instagram, which is in the description box down below, the app name, or tweet them at me, which is again, my Twitter is also down below. So I will look more into them. If this is something that you guys may like, I might start doing either every 2 weeks doing a double upload, and I will be uploading more of these. But yeah, it was a fun thing to do, and I watch a lot of these videos myself, so yeah. I'm gonna do my normal outro though, so I'm gonna love yous and leave yous, and I'll see you guys next week for another video.